Hey Fragrance family, I'm David, I'm a fragrance bro. Coming at you again with another fragrance review, this time on Sartorial by Penhaligon. Have another solo review this time again, so that means we have some comments from Facebook at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. So let's get straight to the fragrance review. Date introduced is 2010. It's classified as an aromatic fougere. Notes are aldehydes, ozone, metallic notes, violet leaf, neroli, cardamom, black pepper, ginger, beeswax, cyclamen, linden blossom, lavender, leather, gurjum wood, myrrh, patchouli, cedar wood, oak moss, white musk, honey, vanilla, and amber. So longevity on this is excellent. It lasts a long time. And projection is also excellent. This is a really powerful fragrance. Obviously not the most powerful fragrance I've ever tried, but man, it is up there. Season, I would say this is best for fall and winter, and probably nights mostly. And purpose, I would say this is probably best for formal use, but I do think this could be used for work if you use it sparingly. So this review has been a long time coming. It's I've been wanting to review this for a long time. Of course, it's classic in the community. And I actually did an unboxing of this, which I'll have a little box here if you want to click on that, and I'll have a link down below. You can click on that if you want to watch the unboxing. It's a beautiful presentation. My gosh, it's stunning how gorgeous the presentation of the bottle and box are. They're just amazing. This bottle was actually sent to me for review from Penhaligon, and I was just really excited to review this. It's just taken longer than I thought it was going to review this. So what does this remind me of? Well, this fragrance probably needs no introduction to many of you. As far as Penhaligon goes, this is probably their most popular fragrance that I'm aware of. And as many of you probably know, this fragrance was inspired by a tailor's workroom. And so it's supposed to have that type of smell of all the various type of things that tailors do in a workroom. Having never been in a tailor's workroom myself, I can't necessarily say if what they did was accurate or whatever, but it is a nice fragrance. It does actually remind me of an older fragrance, which we'll get to a little bit later. And there are a million notes in this fragrance, and you would think that it would just be a jumbled mess of a fragrance. It would just be a one giant train wreck just coming at your face. And I really don't think it is in this case. It's actually very clear. And the subtle ways that the notes are used are actually really well done. If you follow along with the channel at all, you probably know that I'm not personally a fan of a lot of fragrances that Bertrand Duchaufour makes. I just for whatever reason, I just don't really care for them. But I think this is one exception. I think this one is really well done, and it's really masterful at how he really creates just a mood and a setting and just a clear vision of what it is from all those notes. It's almost crazy how good it is. What I really get in the opening is Brut, but Brut refined in a way. You're probably familiar with Brut. Brut is just an aftershave you can get at a drugstore, and it came out a long time ago, and it's awful. This shares similarities to Brut, I think, in the opening, and but I think it is less abrasive than that. What I get a lot of at the top is juniper berries, and there's no juniper berries listed in the notes, but I get a lot of that. I get a lot of oak moss as well. But as the fragrance dries, it loses kind of that Brut essence, and then goes into more of this ozonic herbal quality about the fragrance that is a lot nicer than it was before. It has kind of this fuzziness about it too that's nice. What I get a lot of is just this really aromatic herbal green fragrance. And what's interesting about that is, you know, a lot of fashion looks back at previous fashion and refines it. And this to me is that, but with a fragrance. It looks back at Brut, but refines it and makes it to where it is classic and it's manly, but it is for today. It modernizes something that is now considered to be almost garbage, and it makes it beautiful. And I really like how that happens in this fragrance. But this fragrance is very classy, it's very manly and masculine. I think women would probably be hard pressed to wear this on a regular basis. I really think this is more of a man's fragrance, a man's fragrance. It really evokes a masculinity about this fragrance that you don't get in a lot of fragrances nowadays. And I think that is special in that it does that. It also kind of evokes kind of an older gentleman type of vibe. Some people might say this is old, and I can agree with them on that. I can see their point if they do think it is old, and that did really come to my mind whenever I was reviewing this fragrance. But I would really say this is more classic than old. I think that if you're an older gentleman, you can pull this off really well, and it won't smell like an old man's cologne. I think you actually smell really nice. I think if you're a young man, you still can pull this off too. You'll just smell classic and manly, and that's a good thing too. I do have a couple of gripes with this fragrance. One of them is that it seems like it's hard to find a place and time to really wear this fragrance. And it does teeter on the mature side. So for me, it's not something that I would love to reach for. It's not something that I would wear a lot. And there is something that is a little bit cloying about it, and there is something in it, I don't know what it is. There's some note in there that kind of turns my stomach a little bit. As far as compliments go, I think it's going to be a mixed bag, and it depends on when they smell it too. But I think people are going to love it or hate it. As far as my wife goes, she hated the opening, but she really loved the dry down. I think I would probably agree with her on that. I think that the dry down is a lot nicer. It kind of loses the edges that it has, and it really just opens up, and it's really nice. As far as bang for buck, Lucky Scent has a 100 ml bottle for $125, and I think that's actually a very good value for a niche fragrance of this caliber. And that's rivaling some top-tier designer fragrances. Usually the going rate for top-tier designer fragrances is about the $100 mark. And just for $25 extra, you get a fragrance that is this. My final rating, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5. I think this is a really good fragrance. For me, I think that it's not something that I would wear a lot, so I'd probably have to just rate it a 3. But I do want to say that there are a lot of people who like this, and I can definitely see why. It's a really, really nice fragrance. I just think that it fits some people more than others. And I don't think this has as much widespread appeal as other fragrances do. But it's done exquisitely. And like a fine tailored suit, it really just has to fit the person. Okay, so let's go to some Facebook comments. I obviously polled some people on Facebook, asked them what they thought of Sartorial, so here we go. Joey Maskey says it's classy, professional, long-lasting, and not boring at all. Andrew 2 really loves it and says it's a great work scent. Ben Lee says it's brute on steroids. Tim Beers says it's well made, but he didn't get much out of it and didn't really care for it overall. David Wagmare says it's weird yet strangely likable. And Jay Murmick, I'll have a link down below to his review channel too, said that the metallic notes didn't really help its cause. So overall, what do you think of Sartorial? Do you like it, love it, hate it? Let me know down in the comments down below. And of course, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe down below. I'll love you for it. I'll see you next week with another fragrance review. I'm David from the Fragrance Bros. See you later. Bye.